Hello, and welcome to the Ferret Business Podcast. I am your host, YemmytheFerret, aka Yemmy, aka DJ Yemmy. And with me today is an all-around funny man. He does vlogs, skits, and Let's Plays on his YouTube channel, and that channel is called TaoistDragon. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me here there, Yemmy.
All of his links will be down in the description below, including his Facebook link, Twitter link, Twitch link, YouTube link, and anything else that he says he wants in the description. They'll be down there. How are you today, Mr. Dragon? Or is Mr. Dragon your father?
No, I'm Mr. Dragon. And, yeah, I'm pretty good. I don't know what we're talking about today, but guess we'll get into that.
Well, we're talking about something that you're pretty well versed in, and that is TaoistDragon, the YouTube channel and person and personality.
Oh god, I don't know that guy. I didn't realize there was going to be a quiz today.
Question 1. How closely related are you to Jim Carrey?
He's like my uncle's cousin or something like that.
My uncle's cousin's second twice removed roommate.
My uncle's coven. There we go, that's how I'm related.
But in all seriousness, where did TaoistDragon, the name and the channel, come from and originate from?
Oh god, yeah. I do get asked this question quite a bit because obviously TaoistDragon.
Because you're so famous.
Yeah, I'm the most famous person you've never heard about. That's like my tagline. But when I was starting to think about getting into YouTube was like 2012-ish. So I just graduated high school, and I just realized that YouTubers were a thing. A little bit late to the game. But I was just like watching Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and they were doing collabs and stuff. And they just looked like they're having a lot of fun. I was like, I want to do this. I want to be involved. And the name just kind of came to me randomly. I'm a bit of a philosopher, so things like Taoism and other philosophical principles are just like bouncing around my head. So one day I was like, TaoistDragon, that's a good name, without realizing that a lot of people on the internet don't even know what Taoism is. So I can't tell you how many times people looked at my name and went, "Oh, Taoist!" I was like,
Taoist?
Yep. That's not my name, but okay. But that's also where my nickname came from, was, people were messing it up. But then I made this video where I fought a boss, and I meant to say, this is going to be a little bit explicit. I'm not sure how mature your podcast.
Oh, it's 18 plus. You're good.
Okay. So I was fighting this boss. I meant to say that he was twisting my nipples because he was hard, but instead it said my nipples were toasty. So it's like, Toasty! That's like Taoist. I'll use that. So I've been using that as my nickname. I haven't changed the channel name because it's a bit hard to do that on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So it's, just a nickname, but...
Well, I think Toasty sums up, Taoist has toe in it, and then also you're a dragon, so you breathe fire, right? So
exactly.
Toasty works just fine. I don't see any reason not to believe that.
Yeah, a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, it's because, Taoist and dragon, dragons make stuff toasty. Yeah, so a lot of people think Toasty was just a play off Taoist, but really, for me, it was because of that episode. Toasty.
So, how much do you know of Taoism? And I guess it's also called Taoism, right?
Taoism, yeah. I know it as Taoism. You just pronounce the T as a D.
Oh, okay.
But I know precious little. I mean, I've heard like bits and pieces, obviously, what they talked about in school. And just the bits and pieces that I heard, I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. It's just a very go-with-the-flow mentality, which a lot of people mistake as being lazy but that's not really like true Taoism. All this kind of like sparked me wanting to look into it, and I have an app on my phone that I don't really use, but I keep on meaning to look up Taoism a little bit more. It's just, like a matter of time. But
well, either way, the name is nice. TaoistDragon has a nice flow to it, I'd say.
Yeah, thank you.
So you have just over 600 subscribers as we're recording this right now. What do you attribute most to this success?
The people. It's always the people, because if there wasn't 600 people who wanted to watch my stuff, then I wouldn't have the 600 subscribers,
right.
And also, a lot of it is like shares, because I'm sure you're hearing all of that, sorry. But people sharing my content, it's like all the big YouTubers say that's what got them famous, because networking is a big part of YouTube, and it's something that people don't really think about when they're on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how much most of YouTube is the business aspect, and it's just going out there and saying, hey, check out my channel, and just getting to know people, and just having those people share the content so it grows beyond you. That is the core part of the YouTube job right there. So sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, so is that like your kind of advice to people who are just starting YouTube, is just to network and be friends with people?
Heck yeah. That's my advice. Is YouTube is definitely more than just the creative aspects, because the creative aspects are what people look at, because they're like, oh, look, that looks fun, I want to do this. But there is a lot of work in YouTube, and sharing, make friends with people, and what you said, all that good stuff.
And actually, you've done a few collaborations with people, including a BTS dancing challenge, and also OneShotTv had you on for his Conan Barbarian versus the Terminator video, which is quite humorous. Was it fun doing those collaborations?
Oh, heck yeah. That was a big part of why I started YouTube. I was starting to get into this, but I started YouTube for two reasons. One of it was I just wanted to make friends and collaborate with like-minded people, because I haven't gotten a chance to get my license and stuff, so I don't have a car, and I'm just like stuck in a small town most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So just like this opportunity to make friends and just have like this community that I'm a part of was a big appeal. And the second part is I just want to be a good role model for people, because YouTubers, they have like this really interesting dynamic where they're like famous like other celebrities, but because it's all like via the internet, they feel more personal, and like you're actually getting to know another person. So it's just like this very wide-reaching but sort of personal connection that's being formed. And it's like, that's cool, because I've always wanted to be a positive impact on the world and just help inspire people if I can. So that was the second part of why I started YouTubing. And now I forgot what your question was. Sorry. Was the collabs fun? Oh, absolutely. I've actually done a few more collabs with One Shot since. I was part of his, Dumbledore versus Gandalf.
Oh, really?
I was Gandalf in that. Yeah, that was fun. I got to wear my wizard hat, because I have like this wizard hat and stuff, and like a fake beard for a project that's never going to happen. But
you got some use out of it.
Exactly. And so is Gandalf. And not to spoil anything, there's something else in the works. I'm not sure when that will be up, but yeah.
All right. So when working with One Shot, did you two kind of work together on the puns, or was it kind of like, we each kind of do our own thing and we see what works?
Well, both times that I've worked with One Shot, those the Terminator and the Gandalf, it was kind of like, how One Shot is. He likes people giving him suggestions and stuff. He's done a few of yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, hey, you should do this, and I'd be willing to be a part of it. So One Shot does the script. He will let people write in their own puns, but as somebody with like an acting background, I like working from the script, and I don't necessarily need to make the script myself. So I just let him make the puns, and I just do the lines, and I try to do it as professional as possible.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I couldn't, schedule this podcast where I didn't have my family all running around, but, you have a full-time job, I have school and stuff, it's just hard. But, yeah, for the most part, when I'm doing stuff, especially for other people, I try to make sure I don't have, like, people running around, and I try to do like multiple takes for one shot. My rule of thumb is I do at least like 3 takes for each scene or like line. That way he has something to cut, and choose the best one.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Gives people options.
Yeah.
Well, did he choose one that you were like, oh, that wasn't actually my best one? Or was it mostly the best cuts he chose?
And that's kind of a hard question to answer. It's kind of like, whenever I watch back, it's like, oh, I wish I could have done it like this way, or like given more time in between the takes so you had more to edit from. Because I admit it, I constantly forget to give that like edit wiggle room when you're doing film stuff. You do 3 seconds from the beginning and an end of a take. That way, the person editing has some time to, make the cut. And I'm constantly forgetting that. So, like, I'll go from one take and I'll just go right into the next take, and then I'll go back later and go, oh no, I didn't leave him enough time to edit it. So most of the time when I see him, I do think that he picks the best clips, but I just, like, I see that little, like, oh no, I was starting to go into the next take of that just a little too soon, so you didn't have time to edit it out.
Now, you are very good with your thumbnails. Just looking at the Deltarune number 8 finale episode, I mean, this thumbnail is done beautifully. What is the art behind that perfect thumbnail?
Pixlr, which is like free Adobe Photoshop. But for Deltarune, I didn't start off doing this, but I definitely like midway decided I'm just going to take some game art and then I'm going to put my face over it. Pretty much all my thumbnails, they kind of vary, but it goes off like this basic principle I learned from watching the Game Grumps, which is if you can put your face in a thumbnail, like always put a face, because it makes it more personable and people are more likely to click on stuff like that. I won't lie, there's some thumbnails that I've looked back on, I'm like, I don't really care for this one. Just because, I didn't know what the heck I was making at the time. I have like a title and I try to make something that relates to that, and then I'm just like looking, how do I make a thumbnail for this? And then there's some that, you just like know instantly, and those are the ones I usually feel the best about. Like my tripping on orange peels is one that I'm particularly proud of because of like all the colors and stuff. It is pretty trippy too, so it is as advertised.
Well, it's funny that you switched over to the orange peel one, because I was just about to ask what inspired you to start the 6-word stories series. You're on number 4 currently.
Yeah, I'm an author, and while I started this as a Let's Play channel, I have personally been moving away from video games in my life. I started this a while ago on the channel where I'm like, I play video games too much for myself. And I say that specifically because video games aren't bad, and I know a large amount of my fan base are gamers, and I don't want them to feel bad for being a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
It's, for me, I have too much other stuff I want to do. Like, I'm trying to learn languages, I'm trying to stay in shape and all this stuff. And I turned to video games as a kid as just a way of escaping from issues. So I became more withdrawn than, for me, I'm comfortable with. So I was using video games in a way that was damaging to me. And it's just taken me a while to step out of that space, admit that it's toxic for me, and to be like, okay, I want to cut back. And originally, when I started cutting back, I was just like, I'll do the same amount of Let's Plays, because as much as I like doing skits and vlogs, I don't really have equipment to do that properly. So I'm like, I'll just do Let's Plays for my video game time. But the 6-word stories was part of the second stage, where it's like, I'm just playing video games even less. So now I'm doing things that are more creative, because I'm trying to write, I'm trying to get things published, and I was like, I can do some stuff on the channel to help hone my skills. And the first 6-word stories just like really hit off with people. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's make this a series. But it's just because I'm naturally creative and I like writing, and I haven't been doing as much as I'd like.
I feel kind of the same way about the writing, because I used to write a lot when I was in high school. Like, I would have notepads full of notepads of just dumb stories that me and my friends thought were funny. But recently, you try and sit down and open up a Word document and start writing something. And it's like, I just don't have the inspiration right now to do it, which is why I kind of switched over to YouTube to kind of be a little bit more creative with myself and in my life, and use my creativity also to get something out there that I'm happy with. Because I did try originally, I did try really hard to make like this story, and I was really serious about it, and I was going into it head first, and I just kind of started to fall apart for me personally. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather not spend time working on this that I'm not happy with, and I'd rather work on something that I am happy with. And that's where the birth of YemmytheFerret came from.
I see. I totally get that whole, like, just writing something and then you just go, oh god, I don't like this. I don't like this. But for me, the writing experience, and a lot of writers have said this, it's not so much that I'm coming up with this stuff, it's just sort of like the characters are alive in your own head, and you're just writing the story down. When you're in that space, writing's great. But when you're in the space of like, oh, I need to do this, and you're actually like thinking about it and like trying to craft something, that's when I feel like it kind of falls apart for me, because I don't know how to explain it. It's just like when it's in that zone of like the story is alive and you're just trying to put it to words, then everything's flowing naturally. But when you're trying to work at it inorganically, then you run into issues like writer's block and just like, I don't like any of this. I'm not like, it fits together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, writer's block sucks. Especially when like all day you're thinking about something in your head and you get home and you're like, all right, I want to just sit down and just type this out. And then you sit down and you're like,
It's like, it was perfect in my head, but now what do I do?
I've kind of had that happen with a few video ideas. But Douglas and Dragons, who's a friend of the channel, he was like, you should probably just open up your phone, hit the record button, just speak into your phone, even if you're driving or anything like that. Don't be distracted, of course. Don't be distracted by your phone. But while you're driving, just speak into it and remind yourself, the tune of a song, a podcast idea you wanted to do, something like that. And that really hit home with me, and I've been doing that. Not with the writing so much right now, but with YouTube videos, I've been definitely reminding myself, okay, this is what I want to put in for this, or, something like that.
Oh, I see. That's great. I thought you were going to go a different direction with that, where you just, like, do what they call the madmen in writing, where, you're just like, okay, I don't know what to write. I'm just going to write a bunch of stuff. So you just write a bunch of stuff, and then you go back and edit it.
Mm-hmm. That can be a good idea too. Just get all your ideas on the table and see what sticks.
Yeah, it helps because the worst part of writer's block is that just initial, like, oh, I'm not writing anything. Because I know, especially personally, when I get writer's block the most is when I go and start working on something. So I'll go and sit down and I'll be like, oh God, I don't know what I want to do. So if I just go and I do something, then the creative juices start flowing, and then it's just easier to continue. It's like building up momentum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes it's, yeah.
So you actually are still playing Happy Wheels on the channel, which I thought that game kind of died a while ago, but why do you keep playing it? I'm not trying to like bash you for playing it like that. I don't care. But why do you keep playing it? And you're up to number 43 in the episode count. It's obviously a long-running series on the channel.
Well, because people like it. I mean, some episodes do better than others, which I feel might just be how I title and tag them. So, I'm always trying to do like the best title and tags and try to figure out the algorithm, because I'll be darned if I know what the heck's going on. But for Happy Wheels, any of the games that I play is mostly just what will work on my computer, because
okay.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. But particularly why it's such a long-running series is because it gets views, So.
All right, TaoistDragon. I have a little game to play with you, and it is based off a video that you did earlier in the year. It's just a few would you rather questions that I found that I thought, maybe he'd like to answer these since he's so good at answering would you rather questions. Okay,
but before we do that, I'm going to stop my recording here.
Sure.
That way, if people want to see these would you rather questions, you'll have to jump over to Yemmy's channel and check it out.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. So what are these would you rather questions?
All right, the first one I got for you. Would you rather lick butter from an old homeless person's toes or have sex with a wild gorilla?
Oh my God. Wow, where did you get this? Did you just make this up?
Inside sources.
Inside sources, okay. Well, to me, what my choice is coming from is like, where am I most likely to get sick and get diseases? And I imagine both of these is probably just really bad for your health, but I think the gorilla is a little bit worse for your health.
Especially because it might turn around and punch you in the face.
Yes, like... So, yeah, I want to go with licking butter off a homeless man's feet, but ugh.
And you can quote him on that.
Yeah.
All right, the next one. And this one's actually kind of popular, but this one is, would you rather have Cheeto fingers for the rest of your life, or have a piece of popcorn stuck in your back of, like in your molars for the rest of your life? This one says in your throat, but I feel like that's too far.
Yeah, that's too far.
I think we've all had that one popcorn kernel that's stuck in the back of your teeth, and you go, I just can't get it with my tongue.
I can't get, yeah. I want to go with Cheeto fingers. Just like right off the bat, because for one, the popcorn kernel like hurts and stuff, and I would always be picking at it. So my tongue would probably just like fall apart within a year. Cheeto fingers, at least they taste, nice. I mean, are they actually just like Cheeto fingers? Every would just be covered in like Cheeto dust.
You could never commit a crime. It's TaoistDragon. We knew it.
God, look at this knife. It's got Cheetos all over it.
It was a setup, I swear, officers.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to hack this. I'm going to say I just wear gloves.
Yeah, there you go. Easy enough.
Crisis averted.
All right, the next one. Would you rather use sandpaper as toilet paper or use hot sauce as eye drops?
Oh goodness! What kind of hot sauce, though?
We'll go with Tabasco.
Yeah, okay. Because there's definitely some hot sauces out there. If you were to drop them in your eye, it's gone.
Right.
There goes your eye. And I'm thinking what's going to cause the most permanent damage here. Like the sandpaper is toilet paper, which is going to rip everything up, and then it's going to be awful, and I'll have to go to the hospital and stuff. I think Tabasco as an eye drop is going to hurt for a while, but it probably won't cause permanent damage.
And how often do you use eye drops, You use toilet paper every day, I'm sure, but eye drops? Not so much.
Well, I have glasses, and I used to wear contacts, so...
Well, I guess not for me. For you, that'd probably be pretty bad, though.
Yeah. That people would just be like, why are you squinting? It's like, I had to wear my contacts today.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where George is always winking, and they're like, and no one's going to take him seriously because he's winking every time he says something. All right, enough of Seinfeld. Let's talk about some Nicolas Cage here.
Ooh.
All right, you ready? Would you rather every website be about Nicolas Cage that you go to, or have Nicolas Cage always following you?
I want Nicolas Cage following me, because that just seems like fun.
But what about you, Cage? The site that you can post YouTube videos about Nicolas Cage.
I can do that anyways, if I really wanted to. I have the power, but having Nicolas Cage follow me is not something that I can have, so I want that. There we go.
All right.
Especially if he's going to do like all those facial expressions. Just like,
all right, here's one. Would you rather have a permanent clown face, like makeup and hair and everything, or always have to wear clown clothes?
Okay, so it's either the clown makeup or clown clothes.
Kind of like that movie that's on Netflix with called Clown or something like that. The guy puts on a clown suit and he turns into like this killer clown.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I want to go with clown clothes because they look goofy and stuff, but I've heard clown makeup is incredibly uncomfortable. And especially like the forced smile is just like always tugging on your mouth, and it just feels like ick.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I'll take looking silly over looking silly and just feeling like crap all the time.
All right. All right, the next one. I've been asking this to a lot of people recently, but would you rather everything you eat tastes like poop but is, normal food, or have everything be poop but tastes like normal food?
I literally just read this in a manga. And I'm going to have to go with everything I eat is normal food but tastes like poop. Because again, looping back to the first question, what's going to get me sick? Poop's going to get me sick.
Right.
Normal food isn't.
Right. Well, hey, now chocolate pudding has a new meaning. All right. Would you rather have pubic hair for teeth or have teeth for pubic hair?
I'm going to have teeth for pubic hair because pubic hair is teeth. It's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to eat food.
Right. Unless it's like applesauce or something. But then, there's a process in making out every single meal for you.
Oh, God. But then it's just all going to taste like crap anyway, so yeah. I guess that's fine. But I'll just have to go to the dentist every time I want to manscape. So
there you
that
go.
Sounds great.
All right, I have two more for you. This next one is, would you rather change sex every time you sneeze or not be able to tell the difference between a baby and a large muffin?
I How random is this? I'm going to go with change sex every time I sneeze, because then I could have like a sitcom in real life.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, the last one for today. This one kind of has like a Harry Potter connotation to it, but would you rather always poop glass or always puke slugs? I almost said that wrong.
So poop glass or puke slugs? I want to go with puke slugs because I don't want glass coming out from down there. Yeah. It's like the sandpaper is probably going to be bad.
Well, all right. So you're wiping your butt with sandpaper, but you are puking slugs. You know,
I don't think. No. I chose the other one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I chose Tabasco sauce.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. So you can't see, but at least you can.
Yep.
At least you can wipe your ass.
I can't see, but down there it's like heaven.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, that is all the time I have today with TaoistDragon on the podcast. Just remember, all of his links will be down below, including Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, anything else he wants. And then also make sure you wait around for the end cards for the podcast, because they'll have his latest video and also that sweet link to his channel. Toasty, is there anything else you want to say before we end the podcast?
This was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. Yep.
Well spoken, like a true philosopher. Alrighty. Well, I am your host, YemmytheFerret, and this has been another episode of the Ferret Business Podcast.